Democrats or GOP are in the driver's seat. They both have similar aims, which is to line their own pockets and to continue to continue imperialist wars for resources and hegemony. So, you know, I've lost my train of thought now, but anyway, Julian Assange and, you know, WikiLeaks have helped bring a lot of these crimes of empire to light, and that's why they are so vilified, and that's why Julian Assange, if he leaves the embassy, which they're trying to oust him, you know, the current Ecuadorian president, Lenin Moreno, he basically has recently sold a bunch of oil, I think, to the U.S. and he's or is it sorry, yeah, that's right. And you know, he's basically just being a puppet of the U.S. and now he's hoping, I think, to hand over Julian Assange to the U.S., even though he says that he doesn't want him extradited or whatever. But I wouldn't believe him. And of course, anybody who makes any promises to Julian Assange that they're not going to extradite him, I don't think one can believe that, if it's the British government or if it's the Ecuadorian government or if it's the U.S. government, you know, whatever. I think it's really dire for him now. And if he gets extradited to the U.S. when he's pushed out of that embassy, he will end up in some prison and probably tortured or even killed, but we'll never hear from him again. So it's really, really important that we support Julian Assange and WikiLeaks. You may not agree with everything he does. I don't agree with everything that he has some associations on Twitter, which I'm not very fussed about. There's some other things about him, but that isn't important. What is important is that he is a human being who he's also an Australian, and my government's doing nothing to protect him and hasn't for years. It's disgraceful. The foreign, Penny Wong, who's one of the politicians that's supposed to be speaking out for him, has done nothing. She's on the opposition side. She said nothing, and when I rang up to find out why there's been nothing from the opposition about Julian Assange, the receptionist said Senator Penny Wong can decide who she talks about and who she doesn't talk about. So basically, they've abandoned an Australian citizen in my country. My government has completely abandoned an Australian citizen, all because he committed the crime, in quotes, of journalism. It's a disgrace, absolutely disgraceful, and I'm appalled. So anyway, that's why we need to support Julian Assange, because even though he knows that he's making powerful enemies and he's made powerful enemies, he and WikiLeaks continue to release information about and expose empire. And he knows that every time they do that, it just another nail into his coffin, basically. And he still does it. So that in itself deserves respect, wouldn't you say?
If you can, please sign up to be a monthly donor at our Patreon account. The links are on our page. And if you can't, please, if you'd like to volunteer and help us, sign up. We could use everybody's help. Have a great night, everybody. Goodbye.